Welcome to Who Are You? The Bobcats you know, the stories you don't. I'm your host, Joel Vanner, inside the podcast studio at Quinnipiac University's School of Communications, and I am joined for today's episode by Beca Findley. Beca, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Have you seen an episode of our podcast before?
Yes, I do have.
Okay.
One of my classmates was on this.
So the cat's out of the bag then. You know what my first question to you is going to be. We know your name, but tell me, who are you?
So I am technically a fourth-year occupational therapy doctorate student. I just recently graduated, but I'm finishing up
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm finishing up my capstone, So
we've had a couple health field-related students on this program already, and something in common is that there's always an event in their life that sparks their interest to go into whatever field. In your case, it's OT. How did you get interested in studying OT and practicing in that field?
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of different events that kind of led me to OT. I wasn't very aware of it until my undergrad. I started off in biology for undergrad because I knew I wanted to be in a field related to healthcare. I played softball growing up, so I was really into like the movement of body parts and stuff. So I transferred into kinesiology. And when I was in kinesiology, I met a few of my classmates there, and they were in occupational therapy. So once I found out about occupational therapy, I knew it was the exact profession for me. It was everything that I wanted to do. I had done Special Olympics growing up, and so I knew I wanted to work with individuals with disabilities. I love doing Special Olympics. I still do it.
What do you do with Special Olympics?
I do every sport that they offer. So they actually just this past weekend had their track competition. And I wasn't able to go because one of my classmates got married, which was amazing.
Congrats to them, but sad for you.
I know, yes. I had a wedding last year during track competition too, and I'll have one next year. So lots of weddings, but it's really happy. But they had track competition last weekend, and I am a personal care assistant for one of the athletes. I've been a personal care assistant for the past 3 years, I think, for him. And he was sending me pictures because my mom is really close to him now. And so she went with him, and he won silver and bronze in his events.
That's awesome.
Running and jumping and throwing. So it was great. But I do track, I do bowling, I do croquet, which I've never done before. So it's been interesting to learn all these different sports. But yeah.
And as a personal care assistant, what do you do with these athletes?
So it's only one athlete that I work with, but we do a lot of independent living skills. So we'll go to the grocery store and work on executive functioning skills. We work a lot on independence with him. He's 30 years old, but he's just a joy to be around. So sometimes we'll go to like the movies if he wants to go. Like we'll do a lot of different fun things just to get him out of the house. But yeah, that's been so rewarding and great.
That sounds awesome. And I can tell you really enjoy your work you do with Special Olympics there, just by the way you talk about it.
Yes. Yeah.
So fast forward to occupational therapy. You found an interest in it. You found a love in it, and you wanted to pursue it. There are a variety of masters in OT programs, doctorate in OT programs. What drew you to apply to Quinnipiac specifically?
So my undergrad did not offer occupational therapy. So I ended up going to my undergrad for kinesiology, and I knew that I wanted to apply for postgrad to an occupational therapy school. I'm from Quinnipiac, or I'm from Connecticut. I'm from Seymour. So I kind of wanted to come closer to back home. And I knew a lot of people that had gone to Quinnipiac, and they were so successful. A few of my friends' siblings and a few of my friends from high school had gone to Quinnipiac. Some went for physical therapy, and I knew they had very successful jobs. So after hearing that and doing my interview and talking to a lot of people at Quinnipiac, I knew that was exactly where I wanted to go.
Now that you're here and you've graduated, congrats.
Thank you.
Looking back on your time, how have you been able to find your community now that you're here through different activities on campus?
Yeah, so I feel like throughout my life, I wasn't really someone that got involved in a lot. I was kind of more of an introvert. And when I came to Quinnipiac, I kind of decided that I wanted to get involved in everything possible, which I'm so thankful that I started to do because I feel like I got so much more confidence and so much more sure of myself. And I also made a lot of friends through the process.
It's a great place to do that.
Yeah.
Even when you're new, everybody's so open and accepting to new people joining their organization.
Yeah. So I feel like I've joined a lot of organizations here, which has been great. I am in the student advisory board for occupational therapy. I am also was on the board for the student-led conference last year. They didn't end up having it this year, but I was logistics last year. So I was the one who got kind of all the speakers to come.
Is that an OT conference?
Yes, it's the Occupational Therapy Student-Led Conference. And last year it was actually on technology, which is very interesting. But yeah, it was great. And I hope they end up having it in the future again. But I did that last year. This year, I did one of the interprofessional events that Quinnipiac has to offer. They're on the North Haven campus, and I just recently got my interprofessional micro-credential, which has been awesome to be a part of. I feel like I've met so many new people through that kind of in different professions and healthcare and learned so much.
What other professions are in that organization?
Yeah, so it's all healthcare professions. So physical therapy, athletic training. I met a radiology student, speech pathology, special education. So there's a lot of different professions, and some of them are through other schools are invited. So it's been great being a part of that.
As part of your OT studies, fieldwork is a part of that in your education here at Quinnipiac. What fieldwork experiences have you had so far, and what have you taken away from them?
So we start out with our level 1 fieldwork. So those are kind of like 3-day to 1-day fieldworks, like very short stints, and we'll go to a bunch of different places. So we've been to outpatient clinics, we've been to inpatient, we've been to skilled nursing facilities, schools, as many different places as you can think of. So I feel like I've learned a lot about all of the different settings.
And you go with a faculty from Quinnipiac to those?
For the level
one?
one, no. We're with an OT on site, so faculty does not attend those. So that was great because occupational therapy can do so many different things and work in so many different fields. So it's great to see kind of all the different processes that they go through, and you kind of get to find like your niche too and what you like through that. And then our last year and a half, we're on our level 2 fieldworks. So we have 2 level 2 fieldwork placements, which are 12-week placements, and then we have a 14-week capstone. So now I'm in my 14-week capstone. But my level 2 fieldworks were I was at a K through 12 special education school in New York City. And then I was at St. Vincent de Paul, which is a source kitchen in Middletown. And that was with faculty from Quinnipiac because it was more of a non-traditional setting because they don't have an occupational therapist there, which was very interesting because it's kind of different from the other settings that we've been a part of. So I feel like I learned a lot about OT's role in all of these different settings and how we can really have a role in any setting, which has been really cool.
And you mentioned your capstone, which is something you're in right now. Tell me more about the capstone and how that kind of progresses during your studies in your program.
Yeah, so we kind of shape our capstone throughout our whole experience at Quinnipiac. The doctorate program is technically 3.5 years. And so we'll take classes, we'll take research class and different capstone class to kind of research what we want to do for our capstone, kind of based on what the needs are for the population that we want to serve. And then through that, we'll kind of develop a project that will fit the gap in what is with occupational therapy and what they need.
Do you have like an advisor that you work with?
Yes. So my faculty advisor is Karen Majeski.
Big fan of Karen.
Yes, I've heard.
We'll have to bring her on the podcast.
Yes, Karen, if you're listening, you'll have to come. But she is so great. She has so many different experiences, and she's a part of so much. So I feel so lucky that she was my faculty mentor. She is like the OT for post-secondary transition. So I feel so lucky because that's what I'm doing my capstone on.
And so tell me more about your capstone. What specifically have you been working on?
Yeah, so I work with the Cheshire Quinnipiac Transition Collaborative. So it's students 18 through 22 on the North Haven campus that are attending Cheshire High School. They're special education students, but they are housed at Quinnipiac on the North Haven campus. And they have 2 teachers and 2 paraprofessionals there, and they work a lot. Their IEPs are based off employment skills, independent living skills, and post-secondary education. And it's really nice because they work a lot with the Quinnipiac students. They'll have classes that the occupational therapy and physical therapy students will run, special education as well. And they have inclusive fitness, so they'll run the classes and go with them and do different fitness. They have movement squad where they'll go and do like dances and different fun things. They have a wellness class with the medical students. So it's called Cheshire Wellness. So they're each matched up with the student and they'll talk about different wellness techniques. So it's really, honestly, I feel like the Quinnipiac students learn so much from the Cheshire students. And
sounds very connected to all the different health professions over there on the North Haven campus.
Yeah, it's so great. And it's been so great to be a part of and see that, because I feel like not a lot of colleges have programs like this. So I feel so lucky to see Quinnipiac's involvement with Cheshire High School. It's been great. But so I work with them. We do a lot of kind of executive functioning groups and health management groups. And through that, I'm developing a manual for occupational therapists in post-secondary transition, working with the American Occupational Therapy Association Community of Practice for post-secondary transition, which Karen is very involved in.
Which has an abbreviation too.
Yes, the
Yes.
AOTACOP.
Yeah.
Yes. Very complex. But Karen is a huge part of that. So I'm so lucky to have been involved in that. We had a work group that develops the manual, and it's going to be housed on the Developmental Disabilities Specialty Intersection microsite after it's finished, which is so great. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes. We also have an article in press right now, me and Karen, with another member of the COP on assessments used for post-secondary transition, which is great.
So you mentioned your field work. You got to explore the different areas that OT could practice in, and your capstone with the Quinnipiac Cheshire Transition Collaborative. How have those experiences helped you narrow in on the place in OT that you want to practice in, and have you discovered that yet?
Yeah, I feel like I have learned so much from being in these placements. I feel like I've really come out of my shell kind of and been more of a leader, and it's kind of made me realize that I would love to work in education at some point in academia and be a professor, because I feel like so many people have helped me so much that I want to help other students as well. I would love to be a fieldwork supervisor at my site, hopefully one day once I get a job. But I would love to work in post-secondary transition. I feel like all of the community of practice members, and especially Karen, have helped me learn so much about this population and how much is kind of needed for OT's role and their advocacy efforts in being in post-secondary transition.
What advice would you give to students who are looking for an OT program for them? What are some things you looked out for when you were applying to different programs, and looking back on your time at Quinnipiac, what did you come to value most about the program you chose?
I feel like I love this program because it feels more like a family. There's only 9 students in my cohort, and so we're all very close. We're very close to the professors. I feel like they're all very attentive with us and involve us in so many of their projects, which has been so helpful in like career development and experience.
And you can be so connected to them too. It's just 9 students. You can really form a relationship with your professors.
Yes. I feel like we're like a family. Even my classmates are like a family. And so I feel like I would say try and get involved in as much as you can. Try and find a place that offers a lot of programs. Like I love all of the programs that Quinnipiac has to offer. And I feel like I'm so experienced leaving because of that. If not, I would not have been. So, yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Becca, for joining me on the show. I appreciate you sharing your experience and all the things you've been able to do here at Quinnipiac.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe and find other episodes of Who Are You on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube podcasts. Until next time, when I ask my next guest, who are you? I'm Joel Vanner. Bye for now.